First of all, thanks to the Milwaukee Film Festival for having us. This is incredible, and this is our inaugural show together. We're going to be doing a lot of these shows around the country, and this is our second show together. We did one show in Columbus, Ohio in July, Ray, Sheryl, and I, and we had such a good time. We put our heads together, and now we're going to do this around. So thank you for being here for this. This is really incredible. We are all here because we are fans of David Lynch and his world. And it's a beautiful world, it's a terrifying world, but it's produced movies like this and the career of 10 films and 3 TV series, and it's been amazing. So without further ado, when we bring them out, we're going to be mostly audience Q&A, so I have questions ready. And so first off, you have seen her, and not only in 2 roles as Twin Peaks, Maddie and Laura Palmer, but John Carpenter's Vampires, Backbeat, the lovely and amazing Miss Sheryl Lee. We have. Next up, you've seen him in RoboCop, Tim and Eric, and one of my favorite bands, Beach House, music video for Wishes, Mr. Ray Wyatt. Friendly fireside chat. So, have either of you, Ray, I know you've been to Milwaukee before.
Yep. Yeah, I was here a few years back making a movie called No God, No Master with David Strathairn. It took place in 1919, and we were at these big beer baron mansions somewhere here in town, and had a great time, and sampled a lot of Milwaukee's finest.
Sheryl, have you been to Milwaukee before?
No, not that I'm aware of. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting us and for the warm welcome.
Well, we definitely we don't have a ton of time, but we want to get to questions. So the big thing is to turn it to the audience to ask some questions. So,
We don't have a ton of time?
we've got till the morning.
I've got all the time in the world.
They cut us off at 7.
Oh.
I promise that when you go, I'm like,
Okay.
But, so, we look, okay, so over here is going to be...
We'll ask people to come to this line for questions. And we'll try to get to all of you.
Did you enjoy the movie, by the way?
See that whole section? Hi! Wow, this is an amazing theater.
I want to do something really cool while they're getting the Q&A ready, or the audience Q&A ready. We did this when we did a show in Columbus, Ohio, and I want all of us in this room to, on the count of 3, say, Corstel. And we're going to do it 3 times in a row, and we'll post online, and you'll see why.
Say what?
So, Corstel. Corstel. We're going to do a little red ring. Black lots. All right, so 3, 2, 1.
Corsa.
3, 2, 1. And one last big one. 3, 2, 1. That'll make sense later. Thank you very much. They all just said, let's rock.
Oh, they did what they said?
That's what they said.
All backwards talk.
Ray thinks I'm crazy. Bye.
Never understood that. David said, well, Ray, you just have one line, it's a great one. But you have to say it backwards. So he wrote it out for me phonetically backwards, and it was, of course, Find Laura backwards, and I can't do it for you now because I tried to forget that immediately after I shot it. But that's what it was, and we became pretty proficient at that backward talk after a while, but it took some work.
That is my favorite scene in season 3, Ray.
It is?
Yes.
Woo!
That's wonderful. Because I was watching it and I had to go to the bathroom and I missed the whole thing. I'm kidding. I saw my one line. Enjoyed it.
Okay, we have questions. Fire away.
Two things. From season 1, I think it was episode 3, when you jumped on the coffin. Can you talk a little bit about the structure of that scene, where it was shot? It got parodied immediately after in a restaurant with a waitress using a napkin holder going up and down. And then the other thing, this is a union town, and the one thing I noticed is I'm sort of a geek. I stay until the end for the credits.
Yes.
And I never saw the union label, either on the television series or the movie here. So,
Oh, well, it should have been there because it was all union. I won't do anything that's not union.
thank you.
Forget about it. I'm a union man from the time I was 16 years old. I joined the United Rubber Workers of America. I'm from Akron, Ohio. I went to work at the factory that my father was working at, Mohawk Tire and Rubber Company, as a tire inspector at the age of, I just turned 17. And I started working there, and I worked there for about 6 months, and I saved somewhere around $3,000, and that's what paid for my college. You could go to college then for $3,000. Back in 1964, yeah. You could buy a brand new Chevrolet convertible for that too. But I chose to go to college instead. Anyway, I'm a union man. United Rubber Workers, Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, Actors Equity, AFL-CIO, man, all the way down the line. Oh, the cemetery scene, yeah. That was shot in a little town just east of LA called Sierra Madre, at a cemetery, very popular cemetery. I've shot there many times for different things, different movies and television series, and they keep using the same cemetery in a lot of these things. Anyway, yeah, I threw myself on the casket and it went up and down, and I remember people saying to me, could something like that really happen? Indeed it can, because I remember going to a funeral as a young man. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I saw someone throw himself onto the casket and actually pick his loved one up out of the casket. So these things happen in real life, and I'm just, copying what other people have done.
All right, well. We have another question.
Did an angel lose its wing?
Hi guys. I
Dustin this morning from St. Paul to come in and see the movie with you two, and I'm staying with my friend Jackson, who's over here, and he's never touched Twin Peaks at all. Like, I've watched the series a couple of times, and he was super intimidated, and I was like, it'll be fine. You'll make it through the dreamy stuff. And I was wondering, I don't know, he looks a little bit traumatized, but what was your like scariest on-set experience, or like what was something that scared you from the show that sort of stayed with you? Because the show can get freaky. The movie gets super freaky.
You go first. Were you ever scared?
I scared myself a lot, you know. Not really anything else scared me. There were some horrific moments I remember that left a lasting impression with me. And I remember the day when we killed Maddie on the television show, and she died that day by the hand of 3 different people: Leland Palmer and Benjamin Horne and Bob. And they all beat her up and killed her. And of course, you had that black wig on, and you were Maddie, and you took a hell of a beating that day, I remember. And they had to call in the emergency workers at the end of the day. That was like about a 14-hour day, wasn't it, remember? Yeah, it was longer. 15, 16, 17 hours. Pure murder, you know. So you have a day like that, you go home, so you gotta wind down a little bit before you go to sleep. You have a little nip, you know.
Yes, I watched the very first episode with many friends, and all of us from the word go wondered who killed Laura Palmer. And I was wondering, at what point was it that you found out that Leland was Bob and killed Laura Palmer?
Just before I had to shoot the reveal scene, really, right after the Emmy Awards. Twin Peaks was nominated for like 14 Emmys, didn't win any, I think. It won one, a technical award, I think it was.
Won them all in our hearts.
Huh?
It won all of them in our hearts. It won all the Emmys for us. Yeah.
One of all of the Emmys in our hearts.
Oh! Thank you. Yeah. Ellie Law won all the Emmys that year.
I mean, that's such a sweet comment. It might deserve a song. I know.
Yeah.
Doesn't someone know a little song?
I mean,
Someone?
No.
you won all of the Emmys in our hearts.
Oh, get out. I can't sing. Oh. Oh, Nancy, don't you little anxiety, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? And though the words sound queer and funny to your ear, a little bit jumpy and jivey, say mares eat oats and does eat oats, and little lambs eat ivy. I don't sing that too often. I got the opportunity to sing on the show, and I thought that was really great. And they found out that I could, carry a tune decently anyway. And so they kept writing little singing songs for me. And I remember singing to Ben Horne, "Getting to know you, all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me." Thank you. Okay.
What was your question? No, just.
Was there a question? I'm sorry.
Just when was it that you found out?
Oh yeah, just before. Yeah, and it was in a room. David called us up to a room at our studio, and the room was bare and it was dark. and I think there was like a lava lamp in the corner. And David was sitting there with Sheryl, and Mark Frost, and Richard Beamer, who played Ben Horn, and they were all sitting on the floor cross-legged, and I came in and I sat down on the floor cross-legged. And David leaned over, and he put his hand on my knee, and he said, "Ray, it's you. It's always been you." And I thought, oh, no. No, not me, not me. I did not want it to be me, anybody else. Ben Horn would have been great, you know. Sheriff Truman, how about that? He could be a killer, he could kill a sheriff, why not? No, it was me. So, and the whole idea of killing my own daughter was anathema to me. I didn't want any part of it. I actually even thought sometimes at night, I'm gonna quit. I'm not gonna shoot that reveal scene. I'm not gonna do it. Well, I did it. Because, you know, I'm under contract. But no. David explained it to me. He said, "Ray, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. You're going to die in the arms of Coop. He's going to be reciting the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And you're going to look down a long tunnel and see a white light, very much like that one up there. And at the end of it will be your daughter, Laura, and she'll have her hands reaching out to you, forgiving you." And it was a moment of redemption, not only for my character, but for me. Made it all okay. Okay. You remember that little meeting we had?
Oh yeah, with the brown carpet on the floor and the brown carpet on the walls.
Wow. The carpet was brown and the walls were brown? See, I didn't even see the carpet. I was somewhere else.
That's when I found out I was going to die again. It was in that brown room.
The brown room. Yeah. And then we're lucky enough to make this movie, and she really had to go through hell. You believe some of the stuff she did in that film? Amazing. She ran the whole gamut.
Woo! I take after my parents.
She was a trooper, man. It was quite a shoot, and exhausting and very emotional, and she made it great and very special.
You made it great.
So speaking of that, I wondered, Sheryl, if you know of David Foster Wallace's essay about David Lynch, and the fact he's one of our best writers, he's passed on now, but of our generation. He said that you deserve an Oscar nomination for this film.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear, everyone.
Woo!
Okay, have you read it, Ray? Do you know that piece?
No, I haven't read it, no, but I'm familiar with it, what you're saying. Yes,
Yeah.
but I haven't read it actually.
You guys should check it out. It's pretty spectacular.
I said so at the time. I mean, I thought that her work in it was exceptional and just brilliant. Yeah.
And
I think you should.
exactly. Both of you. So Ray, just so you know, my wife didn't want to come tonight because she didn't want to be within 500 feet of you. So, that's a compliment.
Is she here?
No. Yes, that Oscar-winning performance scared the hell out of me.
Is Katie here? Katie? You are here, okay. That's my good friend Katie. I've known her for about 40 years. And she lives here in Milwaukee. You were once teaching at Marquette, weren't you, Katie? Yeah. And yeah, she's an old friend of my wife and I, and it's great opportunity to see her. So thanks for coming tonight, Katie. I apologize for anything you may think of what happened here tonight.
Hi, my question's for Sheryl. There's kind of this thing going on places like Tumblr. Do you think it could be interpreted that Laura had romantic feelings of any kind for Donna?
You started off by saying there's something going on Tumblr? What is that?
Go ahead and explain that. Go ahead.
It's like the Black Lodge, but worse. Yet we all still keep coming back to it.
It's not wrong.
I am so behind the times. I don't know anything about this, and this is the first moment in my whole life that I've heard this theory. Is that what it is? A theory or a question or an idea?
Kind of an idea, like the moment where she holds Donna close before Leland interrupts, kind of could be taken as, kind of looks like they're about to kiss, could be taken as some kind of even like subconscious romantic feeling for her.
Well, to me, art is completely in the hands of the viewer. It's up to everyone's interpretation what anything means. So I can't tell anybody else what to think about a story. That's totally up to them. I thought a tumbler was something that you drink hard liquor. Maybe we should go back to it being that.
Thank you both for coming tonight. This question is for Sheryl. During the filming of Firewalk with Me, what was your relationship with the book, The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer?
Well, I just think the world of Jennifer for being able to write that book. And I didn't realize how young she was when she wrote it until I went and read it for Audible. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I was really young, so she was also really young. And she did an incredible job to have that as an actor. You know, a lot of times we as actors write our own sort of bios anyway, whether we actually do it on paper or do it in our heads. We have our own backstories. So I had my own until I had hers, and it has continued to be an incredible resource throughout all those decades for that character.
Hi, this one is for Ray. You were on the Tim Eric show one time, and I have a question. Tim Heidecker recently did a movie called Mr. America, an excellent movie. I'm wondering if you've seen it, and if you have, what did you think of it?
Which movie was that?
It's called Mr. America. It's sort of a fictional documentary.
Really? I'm in that?
No, you're not in it.
Have I seen it? No, I haven't seen it, no.
Highly recommend it.
No, okay. I did the Tim Eric show, and I did their movie, their $1 billion movie, and I also did their bedtime stories, and I also made that video with Eric Warheim. He directed it, the Beach House video, the group Beach House. It's called Wishes, and yeah, it's a very interesting video. We usually play it with this movie, but we didn't tonight.
That is my fault. I did not include it.
He did not include it, so.
But YouTube, everybody, Wishes by Beach House.
Beach House,
You will see
Wishes,
this man,
yeah, it's fun.
This man ride a horse, and it's pretty incredible.
What? It's incredible that I rode a horse?
It's a really nice stance on that horse.
Oh, yeah, he's a great horse,
Right?
no doubt.
Great horse. And a great tracksuit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, gold lame pants.
Yeah. Just for gold.
Yeah. And not a bad rear end shot of me, I have to say.
Every time we show it, he leans over to me and he says, "Look at that."
That was a few years ago, and I looked a lot better then, so. Yes, sir.
All right. This is for both of do you have the fondest memory of shooting?
Oh, that's a good one.
Any scene where, where I didn't have to cry. Or be killed. Or take my clothes off.
That's a cool movie.
Or snort cocaine. Smoke a pack of cigarettes.
Do you want a hug? All better now. Follow that.
I don't know. I guess any scene where I danced, I enjoyed. You know, I had some happy moments on the show just before it turned tragic. Yeah, the dancing and singing, I guess, would be like, oh, yeah, I forgot this. No, I'm singing to Ben Horn, you know, in the lounge at the Great Northern. I'm singing Getting to Know You, Getting to Know You, that one, from The King and I. And sitting at a table is this Japanese gentleman. It's Piper Laurie. I was told that morning before I shot this scene, whatever you do, don't recognize Piper. Because she's got that Japanese makeup on, and she wants to know that you can't recognize that it's her. So whatever you do, don't recognize her. So I sang the song, and I'm looking at her sitting at the table, and I tried very hard to hold it in. And then after I was done with the scene, I went off and I was laughing my ass off in a corner of the studio. Because anybody could tell that was my
It fooled me, but I was still.
Next question. Hi, thank you for coming so much. And the Milwaukee Film Festival doing all these amazing events, including having students from Henry David Thoreau School coming to free movie here, which is amazing. So thank you so much for coming. And then my question is, just any stories about, you know, the amazing David Lynch, and just maybe his relationship with Kyle MacLachlan, just anything about that, because they're just, you guys know, amazing characters, and so are you, so just anything like that.
Any amazing stories about David? Well, just about anything you can say about the experience of doing Twin Peaks and that movie. He's just an amazing individual. Very, you know, kind of you wouldn't think to look at him. But he's a regular guy. He really is. He's a man of habit. You know, he likes to do certain things every day in a certain way. But he's pretty normal. But he's got a hell of an imagination, and he stimulated ours all the time. And he had an incredible way before every scene to say just the right thing. And it could only be, as you said earlier, one or two words that would trigger something, and all of a sudden it all makes sense. And you could do what you had to do in that scene. I've never experienced it with any other director, not like with David. And he's, well, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is that I never have any idea what's going to happen that day when I go to work. I may have the scene or part of the scene or, you know, some sense of it, and then I show up and he's filled with surprises.
Mm.
And that really it's a thrill to work that way, because it's completely unexpected what he's able to do with the scene, from the paper to the life of it.
Yeah, and he has a very kind of a laid-back, happy set where, you know, everybody feels good getting started in the morning, looking forward to that day's work, and very unusual, you know. It's not often that you experience that, and he made it very special.